A government-ordered review of our racing industry is underway. Insiders say the billion-dollar industry is poorly run and barely reaching its potential, and they're betting on the minister in charge, Winston Peters, to turn its fortunes around. Fiona Owen has the story.
6 in the morning in Horse Heartland, New Zealand, but these Cambridge groomers and jockeys started their working day 2 hours ago. They're among 40,000 people in New Zealand who derive their livelihoods from racing. Every morning, they take the racehorses out onto the training track for a workout. The trainers are out there too, keeping an eye on performance. Among them is Murray Baker. He's regarded as our top trainer and a bit of a legend. He's almost at the end of his career, but fears for the industry.
Fantastic industry, been poorly run. I feel sad because, I've got a lot of friends in the industry. This is their chosen career and they're battling to stay in it because it's become too tough.
He's been in it since 1978.
It used to be us and the Golden Kiwi.
Yes, in its heyday, racing pulled the crowds. This is Te Awamutu Racecourse last Wednesday. Saturday races have now gone, and midweek doesn't attract too many punters to the track. Where are the punters?
I think all clubs are the same. I probably can't explain it. I mean, racing is just not like it used to be.
In many areas of the country, racing used to be the only entertainment.
There are masses of choices that Kiwis can make about how they want to be entertained. They can be entertained at home.
That's John Allen, the New Zealand Racing Board's CEO. The board was set up in 2003 under the Racing Act to administer all racing in New Zealand. That's thoroughbred, harness and greyhound, and sports wagering. It's funded from betting. It operates the TAB, trackside television, and has an obligation to the Racing Minister under the Act to regulate and improve the racing industry. Cambridge trainer Tony Pike.
It probably has been underperforming since its inception, since the inception of the Racing Act, and it's just, the costs of running the industry have just grown, continue to grow every year.
To put it this way, the Racing Industry Board, made up of government appointees, they haven't been accountable to anyone. They've just run their own ship.
Winston Peters is the new Racing Minister.
What should be a $2.5 billion industry has been stagnant at 1.6.
Hopefully there's going to be change. Winston Peters.
So you're putting your hope in Winston Peters?
I am. I even voted for him because of the racing.
Racing people got him in. They got Peters in. He owes them an obligation.
Over the last few days, I've met punters and racing industry people who said they voted for you in the hope you'll rescue the racing industry. Can you deliver?
Yes, I can.
It's Testarossa clear though. Reduced choice is coming again.
Peters has just appointed Australian racing big shot John Massara to review the industry here. Massara turned the declining New South Wales racing scene around and increased the prize money. Another Australian, Bernard Saundry, has recently taken on the job of heading the thoroughbred racing code. Is our prize money too low?
Yes, it is. By today's standards and what's happening in Australia is too low in order to be what I call competitive and keep people engaged in the sport.
6, 1, 3 and 8, please.
What do you think the obstacles are for owners in New Zealand at the moment?
Owners are a big obstacle. It's the stake money. It's pathetic. Time you pay all your fees and whatever, it's a lose-lose situation.
I think stake money has got to be the number one issue for us at the moment. And probably more centralised racing.
You take all the abandoned race meetings last year. They need more all-weather tracks.
So Te Awamutu is typical of many provincial racecourses, 8 meetings a year and very weather dependent. Last year they had 2 meetings cancelled. But would you believe that New Zealand has 52 operating racecourses?
There's clubs and there's tracks. I think every race club has a role to play. From thoroughbred racing's perspective, 52 venues. We can't justify investment in 52 venues.
And a WA on number 12. There are around 650 TAB outlets in the country, but the word on the track is that the TAB may be outsourced to an agency in Australia.
By outsourcing, I think the synergies and the cost savings would be huge, and I think it would be a huge benefit to the industry.
But the head of the racing board is cautious.
You have to understand what the implications of those sorts of decisions are, because once you go down those paths of outsourcing or sale, there is no going back.
TAB, should we be outsourcing that to Australia or another overseas agency?
Well, let me tell you what we're going to get is we're going to get the best possible answer to that and our fair share of the action.
Towards the centre of the track here.
The New Zealand Racing Board employs around 820 staff. In 2006, its operating budget was $119 million, but that's shot up. Last year, it was $204.6 million. Criticism has been levelled at its management structure.
This issue that the TAB is top-heavy and people are paid too much has been with the TAB for as long as there has been a TAB.
We're just looking to make sure that they've got a nice fluid action.
The head of the Trainers Association says we need a new racing model.
Look, it's one of those things you don't mind paying a chief executive a huge pay packet if they're delivering results, but unfortunately we've had a succession of underperforming chief executives within the racing board, and they haven't really been around for a long time either.
The narrative used to be that I was being paid some vast sum of money, I can't think $900,000 a year or something, and that was absolutely outrageous, when the truth was I was paid $650,000.
Well, you are paid $650,000.
Well, I probably paid just slightly more than that now, because I think in the 3 years I've been here it might have gone up about
$660.
Something like that, yes.
The racing review and recommendations will be handed to the racing minister in August. Before then, the minister has signalled something for racing in next week's budget. Can you give us any more information about that?
What's the budget secret?
Alrighty, that is Winston Peters, Fina Owen with that fascinating insight into the racing industry.